Hey guys, how's it going? Good, I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so a little while ago I left a little post on my community section on my YouTube channel asking if you guys would like me to do a Q&A or not, and I got quite a few questions, so what I'm going to do is spend this video answering them for you, because I'm nice like that. Okay, so let's get into it. What are your favourite Nirvana songs, both to listen to and to play, and why? Anything from Nevermind, basically. Now, I don't think Nevermind is particularly my favourite Nirvana album, but I think as a collection of songs and like a body of work, it's probably their most consistent. Yeah, I think it's just the simplicity of the songs and, you know, the fact they all sound so good and so melodic. That's what makes them so fun to play, in my opinion, of course. I think Nevermind itself is probably slightly overproduced. There are, if you get the 20th anniversary deluxe edition, there are these smart studio versions on disc 2, which I think are probably a better representation of Nirvana's overall sound, like live and all that kind of thing. But I think when they re-recorded Nevermind with Butch Vig in California, they were going for more the radio-friendly kind of sound, and they wanted to get it played on MTV and all that kind of thing. And I think for that kind of approach, they needed to make it a bit more slick. So yes, to answer your question, anything from Nevermind basically. On a Plane is a really fun song to play, super simple, but that's why it's fun, because you don't really have to think, you can just jam and kind of like have fun with it. Drain You has a great main riff, not overly technical, it just sounds really good, you know. Simplicity is the name of the game here. In Bloom, really powerful riff. One thing about Kurt's playing that I really like is the fact that he sort of like would use unusual keys, like key changes and all that kind of thing. Stuff that most people wouldn't expect, and yeah, he would sort of play notes that you wouldn't expect as well, which is super cool and super interesting to listen to. I don't think he was like an overly musical, technical kind of guy. He was more kind of like just going on feel and what he liked the sound of. Yeah, which I think was a benefit for them, to be honest, because their overall sound was very characteristic and very unique. I think Nevermind is probably the most nostalgic album for me, because Teen Spirit is the first Nirvana song that I ever heard when I was very, very young, like ridiculously young. And it was one of the first albums that I ever bought with my own money as well, when I was about 12 or so. So it's very nostalgic for me, and that's one of the reasons why I find it so fun to play. So yes, I hope that answered your question. What is your best advice for listening to fairly thick music like Nirvana to find the melodies and the chords? Also, thank you so much for all of your videos. I've watched every single one. First of all, thank you very much. That's awesome. I can't believe you've watched all my videos. That's great. Yeah, so anyway, to answer your question, the best piece of advice really that I can give you is just listen to the music again and again and again and again. Kind of psychotically in a way. Just internalize it so that when it actually comes to learning the music itself, it's not a struggle. You're not having to like learn how the song goes. You've already got it in your head. You're just like learning the parts to it, kind of thing. Yeah, that's like the simplest thing that I can say. Another thing that you can do is go onto YouTube, and what a lot of people on there have done is they've isolated like the guitar tracks or the bass tracks or drums or vocals or whatever, and you can just listen to like those isolated parts. So if you type in, say, I don't know, Nirvana Breed guitar only kind of thing, it should come up with at least 1 or 2 videos where it's just the isolated guitar tracks, and yeah, just listen to them over and over again and just like hear the parts that you can't hear with the drums and the bass and the vocals over the top kind of thing. Yeah, there's loads of people out there that have done that kind of thing, and I found it super helpful for like learning, you know, Kurt Cobain's hectic guitar solos and all that kind of thing, especially for like school and songs like that. Yeah, like, you know, I found them invaluable because you can't always hear every single thing that's going on, and you hear all the subtle nuances and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's cool. Another good way of sussing out the guitar riffs is watching live performances. Now, this isn't 100% reliable, of course, because especially with Kurt Cobain, he wouldn't always play the songs exactly the same way live that he did on the record, but it's definitely like sets you on the right path. Even if he's playing it like a half a step down to how it's recorded on the album, it does show you the riffs and, you know, how he plays at least the main riffs and the choruses and stuff like that. Again, with the guitar solos, he might do it differently. He did quite a lot when it came to like live performances. But yeah, just to get like an overall handle on the main parts of the songs, watching live performances is a great way of doing that. It's kind of cheating, but at the same time, it's fair enough, do you know what I mean? If you're struggling, then you have to do these things, so it's all good. Yeah. Other than that, it's basically just patience. Just allow yourself some time to learn the song and try and have fun with it. That's the best piece of advice, is try and enjoy yourself. Don't like force yourself into it, because you're not going to enjoy it and you probably won't sort of retain the information and you'll just end up getting stressed out. So yeah, just, you know, give yourself a certain amount of time and just try to have fun with it. That's what I do anyway. So yeah, cool. Are you ever considering making drums videos in the future? I feel like there's a lack of people with drum lessons on YouTube, and I feel like you might be a good one. Honestly, I would love to do drum covers for YouTube. I would have to learn to play the drums first. I used to play a little bit back in the day, but that was only because I knew people that were like really good sort of thing, and they would show me bits and bobs here and there. It's something I would love to do, but I don't think it's realistically something that's going to happen, because I don't really have the space, I don't have the time, and I definitely don't really have the money either. So yeah, it's just one of those things that maybe one day, but probably not in the foreseeable future. So yeah, sorry about that. It's definitely something I would love to pursue though. But yeah, I'm pretty caught up with playing the guitar and playing the bass at the moment as well, so trying to learn the drums within that would be kind of difficult, what with having to work and stuff as well. But I don't know, if I had them, then I would definitely try. What did inspire you to start playing the guitar? Well, ever since I was a kid, I always thought guitar-driven music was super cool. Like, I don't know, just, you know, rock music in general just sounds awesome. And when I was a child, I thought it was like much better than other stuff that was out that I was hearing on the radio. I mean, I'm talking about like the Spice Girls and Take That and things like that. But yeah, just, I don't know, hearing things like Guns N' Roses and Oasis and Nirvana and things like that on the radio, I always thought that stuff was super cool and I always really liked it. Yeah, like one of my earliest memories of liking music was listening to that kind of stuff on the radio, so it's something that definitely stayed with me. Also, another thing as well was watching Back to the Future, where Marty McFly was playing Johnny B. Good at the end. I always thought that was super cool, and I always wanted to learn how to play Johnny B. Good, but I've never really got around to it. That's just reminded me of that. Actually, I might have to do that one day. Yeah, not anytime soon, because I'm pretty stuck with Nirvana and things like that at the moment, and I've got loads of requests that I need to do. But yeah, it was basically just liking that kind of music as a child, and then listening to it again as a teenager definitely made me want to buy a guitar. So yeah, hopefully that's good enough. Probably when I was about 11 or 12 as well, getting albums like Dookie and Nevermind and Americana and a whole bunch of others as well around that time. They're definitely what steered me towards wanting to play the guitar. Now, there was a lot of people in the year above and below me, and in my year actually at school, who played instruments. Like, there was a lot of guitarists and drummers and bass players and stuff like that. And me and my friends used to go to the music rooms at lunchtime and listen to them play. And yeah, that's definitely one of like the main things that made me want to get a guitar, was listening to that kind of music. And yeah, seeing people being actually able to play those songs kind of inspired me to do that myself. And yeah, that's basically where it started. I think I got a guitar when I was about 14. I actually got a bass first, and then I ended up selling it pretty quickly because I thought the guitar was so much cooler. How little I knew, but yeah, I ended up buying an electric guitar. So yeah, I don't regret it, of course, because I love the electric guitar. Bass is more of a novelty for me, but yeah, ever since I was 14 was basically when I started playing. So yeah. Maybe introduce us to your dog. Okay, if you want. So to those of you who have been watching my videos for a while, you will know that this is Milo. Milo, what's this? Yeah, I don't really bring him into my videos too much nowadays because I don't think it's fair to like pull him about and all that kind of thing. But he's a very sweet little dog and cool little dude. Yeah, I mean, let me know if you want me to bring him into my videos, but I don't really like to pull him about very much. I like to leave him alone because he's not a toy at the end of the day. But yeah, cool little dog. My whole life I had sort of bigger dogs, but having a smaller dog is kind of cool. You know, it's fun to sort of like run in the park with him and all that kind of thing. So yeah. Milo, do you want to say hello to my subscribers? How to set up your amp and pedals for the Nirvana Tone. Also, when did you become a Nirvana fan? I've been a fan since I was a kid, as my mum and dad were always fans. I remember watching Unplugged live. I'm 36 now, and still a massive fan. It seems to live with you forever. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, I've been a fan of Nirvana, like realistically, since I was about 11 or 12. But again, like I said before, I do remember listening to Nirvana on the radio, like when I was ridiculously young, like in 1992 or something like that. So I would have been about 5 or 6. And yeah, I just remember hearing it and thinking like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, this sounds awesome. when you compare it to like Take That and Ace of Base. Ace of Base were pretty cool actually, but yeah, just other stuff that was on the radio. I definitely preferred the sound of Nirvana. But yeah. Now, with regard to getting Nirvana's tone, I don't think I actually have Kurt Cobain's tone kind of thing. I just use my Blackstar ID15 TVP amplifier dialed in like into a way that I like it, and that's just the tone that I personally use to do my Nirvana videos. But if you are looking for the tone, and I believe I have mentioned this several times in the past, definitely, you need the Boss DS2 and the small clone, Electro Harmonix small clone. Other than that, a guitar with a humbucker, ideally a Strat or a Jaguar, something like that, or Mustang, whatever. Yeah, these two are definitely must-haves. If you want to get like Come As You Are and Lithium, then the small clone is definitely a must-have. The DS2, I don't think so. The DS1 and the DS2 are virtually identical, but I've never really liked the sound of it, so I don't use it anymore. Yeah, it doesn't agree with me. Like, I don't like the way it sounds in the room, and I don't like the way it sounds recorded. Yeah, just my Blackstar does it for me. That's all I need, kind of thing. I have done a video before showing how I get my particular tone, I guess, or my rig rundown or whatever the hell it's called. So yeah, I don't know. I'd recommend getting a Blackstar ID series amplifier if you like the sounds that I get with my guitars and all that kind of thing. But yeah, just the DS2 and the small clone if you want to sort of like go your own way and go how Kurt went, I guess. Yeah. Favourite Green Day album? Sorry to be completely obvious, but it's going to have to be Dookie. It's the first Green Day album that I ever owned, and it's probably my favourite just because, again, the same with Nevermind. I just love all of the songs. There's not one on there that I don't like. And I love the order of them as well. And yeah, it was their like breakthrough album, so I think it was like when they were like super hungry and just, yeah, they just had so much passion. I think in the following albums, like Insomniac and Warning, I think they kind of fell off a little bit. The albums are still really good, like much better than other stuff that I heard at the time, kind of thing, or that came out around that time, in my opinion. But yeah, for me, Dookie is definitely my favourite Green Day album. Have you ever played any gigs? How did you get into them? How does touring work for small bands? Yeah, sorry, I can't really tell you much about that. The only kind of like gigging that I've ever done is like jam nights at pubs kind of thing when I was a lot younger, and then a couple of times more recently. Yeah, it was just basically just me and my friends used to go to like these jam nights where there'd be like a drum set and a bass guitar and amplifier and a guitar and amplifier, and we'd all just go up and just muck about playing songs and stuff like that. Yeah, it was nothing serious. It was just like, go up on stage and show us what you can do kind of thing, and try and play songs. And yeah, where I used to live, me and my friends used to do that, and we used to play a lot of Nirvana and Green Day and stuff like that, and I think it sounded alright. We never really found a decent singer, but we sort of worked with what we had, and it's a shame I don't have any footage of it because that would be awesome. But yeah, I didn't, like, digital cameras weren't really like a massive thing back then, and yeah, I don't know, I just don't have any documentation of it, which is such a shame. I did go to some other jam nights more recently in the town that I live now, but to be honest, I didn't really know anybody there that well, apart from one guy that I've known practically my whole life. But everybody else were kind of strangers to me, and I wasn't really overly comfortable with the situation. Yeah, and it was a bit of a dive pub as well, like a bit of a dive bar kind of thing. So yeah, I just remember drinking way too much and trying to play Sweet Home Alabama with like the guys that were there, and I didn't know how to play the song at all. I was just kind of like following what the bass guy was doing, and yeah, it was kind of embarrassing, but hey, whatever. These things happen, right? Everybody bums at some point. Do you have any plans for more heavier music, like Lamb of God, Metallica and Rammstein, etc.? Metallica, I would love to do some Metallica covers in the future. I've always been like a big fan of them for as long as I can remember, since back in the day kind of thing. When I was a young teenager, I guess. With Lamb of God and Rammstein, not so much, if I'm completely honest. I did used to have a few Lamb of God albums and Devil Driver as well. If you know those guys, probably. You know what I mean? Most people do. But yeah, it's never really something that I wanted to sort of learn how to play. It was just something I enjoyed listening to at the time, kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not really into that kind of stuff anymore. It's a bit too much for my taste. As I get older, it's sort of not really something I want to listen to as much. Yeah, I mean, the guitar riffs and all that are great, and they're really technically good at playing the guitar, those guys, especially Lamb of God. But yeah, it's not something that I want to sit there and kind of like obsessively learn, like, you know, playing over and over again kind of thing, and getting it to a level where, or to a standard where I'll be happy to post a video about it. Yeah, it would just take way too much time, and it's not really something that I would enjoy as much. So yeah, definitely some Metallica in the future though. I'd love to do some of that. Maybe James Hetfield's parts and not Kirk Hammett's. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, at some point, possibly. Favourite Nirvana album? P.S. Your channel's awesome. Thank you, that means a lot. I would have to say today my favourite Nirvana album is probably In Utero. To be honest, it fluctuates and changes from, you know, it depends what album I'm listening to at the time, I guess. I'd probably say In Utero just because I really like where they were going. The way their sound had changed and evolved into like something that was a lot more raw, and the guitar parts were slightly more complicated as well, and I really liked the direction where they were heading. But yeah, obviously that was like their last sort of like big album kind of thing. Yeah, but I mean, if I listen to Unplugged, then that's probably my favourite album while I'm listening to that, because there's so many cool parts to that album as well. Bleach is a great album. Yeah, I mean, sometimes when I'm listening to that, I think this is my favourite Nirvana album. I've never really felt like that about Incesticide, even though that is the album that's got Aneurysm on it. But yeah, I don't know. At the moment, In Utero. Ask me tomorrow and I'll say something else. If you ran out of Nirvana songs, what band covers would you do? Well, I think it would take quite a while for me to run out of Nirvana covers, to be honest, because despite the fact they weren't around very long, they did a hell of a lot of work. Like, there's a lot of recordings, like whether it be like live performances or home recordings or demo versions. There's so much of it out there, man. I didn't realise until like several years ago how much it actually was. I mean, back in the day, the only albums I had were Nevermind, In Utero, and Unplugged, I think. I didn't get Bleach until quite a bit later. And Incesticide, I don't think I got that until after I got Bleach. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would take quite a while for me to run out of Nirvana songs, but if I ever did, then I'll definitely probably go for more Green Day, because Green Day is super fun to play. I would like to go basically just to my old music that I used to listen to as a teenager, you know, the first stuff that I learned. Offspring, I'd like to do some Papa Roach at some point, that'd be quite cool. Probably the Infest album, because that's the only one that I had. I heard other stuff they did afterwards and I wasn't really that keen. But yeah, I don't know. There's loads, man. There's loads of stuff I'd like to do in the future. But I don't see myself running out of Nirvana anytime soon. There is plenty out there, so yeah. What is, or who is, your motivation to keep playing every day? Now, as cringy as it may sound, the reason I keep posting videos and the reason that I play so much is because of you guys. I think if I didn't keep doing this channel and if people weren't as interested in it, then I probably wouldn't play half as much as I actually do. I definitely wouldn't have got so many guitars and I wouldn't have learnt so many songs. I wouldn't have started playing bass, and yeah, I don't know what I'd be doing, to be honest. Probably just playing video games like a loser. Nothing wrong with playing video games, of course. That's something that I really enjoy as well, but guitar is like my main thing. That's the thing that I get the most satisfaction out of, like hobby-wise. I spend most of my time at work thinking about playing the guitar and sort of trying to work out tabs in my head kind of thing, like while I'm sort of working and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know, that's definitely like my favourite thing to do, is to play the guitar. Yeah, so basically it's thanks to you guys that I've like improved to the point where I am. I'm definitely at a point where I was better than I was when I was a teenager, which is awesome. Definitely progression is a good thing, and it gives you a sense of achievement, and the fact that I can help people as well, like all these nice comments I keep getting, definitely inspire me as well. So the fact that I'm helping people is amazing. And you know, a lot of people ask me, like in my real life kind of thing, like if I say to them that I do YouTube, they say, how much money do you make? And it's like, it's not about that, man. What I want to do is help people. I make a little bit of money, but literally like it's pennies, do you know what I mean? It's not an awful lot at all. It's definitely not something I could do for a living. This is just a hobby, do you know what I mean? And the fact that I'm able to do my hobby and, you know, help people progress themselves as well is the reason I do this. So yeah, you guys are exactly why I do this. Thank you so much. You guys are the reason that I got better as well. So yeah, it's kind of like a give and take, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not going to answer that, sorry. No comment. So that's the video. There was a lot more questions, but I don't really have the time. My battery is running out and my memory card is running out as well. So I hope this answered enough questions. If I didn't answer your question, then I do apologise. I might do it again in the future if like a lot of people like this video. If I'm sort of wasting my time, then I probably won't do it, and I'll just stick to what I'm good at, which is the guitar covers and all that kind of thing. That's obviously my main focus, but I like to do other stuff as well, so you guys can sort of feel like you're getting to know me a bit, and I can feel like I'm getting to know you guys a little bit as well. So yes, I'm going to end the video there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I shall see you guys in the next one. I'll be doing a guitar cover / bass cover next week, definitely. Okay, take it easy guys. Peace.